what has been the impact of the pandemic? What have we seen so far? Well, I mean, this is the bad news. Our estimates show that the impact on jobs, the impact on labor income of the pandemic, if aggregated across the world, it's 4 times as severe as what happened in 2008, 2009 at the time of the financial crisis. This has been an enormous hit. That's the first thing to say. Yes, the global economy is beginning to grow back, but that 4% plus economic growth that we're seeing, the aggregates as always disguise a lot of the detail and a lot particularly of the diversity of experience. I'm not going to bury you with numbers, but we estimated that if you look at the actual number of hours actually worked, the hours actually worked in the world. In 2020, we lost the equivalent of 258 million full-time jobs in that year. Where the figure today, we estimate for 2022, is down to 52 million. So we're progressing, but we're way behind the starting line. So we're not out of this. So that's the bad news, which I know you're looking for silver linings, Azim. I have to give you the bad news to start off with. There's a bit more bad news. We're growing back horribly unequally. Now, to put it simply, Kristalina Georgieva talks about the dangerous divergence now in evidence in the recovery process. What's happening? The richer world, the advanced economies are bouncing back pretty quickly. Those of you joining from the United States know all about this. The developing and emerging economies are having a much harder time. Why? Because of unequal access to fiscal resources and stimulus, but also because of unequal vaccinations. So the bad news is we're going back incompletely on a fragile, unequal trajectory. And I think that has enormous implications for development processes and inequality in the world of work. Silver linings, they're not easy to find. I'm going to make the effort, though, because you're encouraging us. I do think that COVID has enabled us, almost obliged us, to step back a little bit from the way the world of work has been. And I like the phrase you used, Asim, ways of disrupting or challenging the status quo, because, the pandemic didn't hit us from a standing start. Things were moving, things were changing. There were necessary transitions, be they digital, be they, and above all, the move to carbon neutrality through what we hope to be a process of just transition. Let's be honest, we were not doing well in handling any of those issues in the world of work. I think the opportunity of the pandemic is enable us to reset and think these through again. The question then is, how do we bring this about? And this is where we go to the lessons learned part of your question. Look, the problem is the following. If we just carry on as we were going before, we're not going to get to where we need to be. I fear that this unequal trajectory of recovery will make us build back worse. But if we do learn the lessons of the pandemic, it is that we need to reactivate and rededicate to what we call the institutions of labor, processes of negotiation, labor market regulation, consultation, and dialogue. I find some encouraging developments in the United States where encouragement of organizing labor is apparently finding its way into a putative legislative agenda, notwithstanding which, let's be honest, union density was down in the United States last year, not up. So there's not an easy way forward. But I do think that if we go back and say, look, we really have to put our minds and our politics and our institutions to work to design the future of work that we want, not just wish it into existence, then the pandemic would have taught us something. Thank you.